All right, let's just jump right in. If you're running a business today, there is one question that trumps almost everything else. When it comes to AI, should you build your own, or should you just buy a tool off the shelf? And trust me, the answer to that is going to decide who wins and who gets left behind.
But before we get into that, we have to face a pretty staggering fact. I mean, despite all the hype, all the money being poured into AI, almost 95% of companies are seeing zero, and I mean zero financial return. And look, we're not just pulling this number out of thin air. We're talking about massive global studies from giants like Boston Consulting Group and McKinsey. They're all saying the same thing. Almost everybody is playing around with AI, but only a tiny, tiny slice, like 5%, are actually using it to create a real defensible advantage.
So what is going on? Why is there this huge chasm between what AI promises and what businesses are actually getting? Well, here's the kicker. It's not a problem with the technology. The AI is amazing. The problem? It's a total failure in strategy.
Yeah, the real issue here has a name. It's called the Great Software Compromise. And it's the super tempting, easy-button approach of just buying a generic tool. And honestly, it's a trap that most companies are walking right into.
And this right here? This visual explains everything. When you buy that off-the-shelf AI tool, you have to bend and break your own unique ways of doing things just to cram them into the software's little box. But when you build, the software gets built around your process, your secret sauce.
This leads you straight into something called the wrapper trap. It's where you're paying these premium prices for what is basically just a nice-looking user interface wrapped around a public AI model, like the one from OpenAI. And the fatal flaw? Your competitors are using the exact same thing. Any advantage you thought you had is gone. You're just renting parity.
So these standard off-the-shelf tools fail, and they fail consistently. First, they lock you into their one-size-fits-all process. Second, your data gets scattered everywhere. Third, they create huge security risks. And maybe worst of all, they almost never make it out of a pilot program into real, company-wide use.
So how do you avoid all this? You need a better way to think about it, a better mental model. And lucky for us, one already exists, from the legendary software architect Martin Fowler. It's a really simple way to cut through all the noise.
He calls it the utility versus strategic dichotomy. It's just a powerful way to categorize any piece of software, and it helps you make that build or buy decision based on one simple question. Does this thing actually give us a competitive edge?
And this slide just breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you have utility software. This is stuff you absolutely need, like payroll or email, but it doesn't make you special. They're like the sewage pipes of the business. You just buy them. But on the other side, you have strategic software. This is your secret sauce. This is what makes you better, faster, smarter. And for that stuff, you have to build it, no question.
Okay, I can already hear the CFO in the room shouting, but building our own software is expensive. Fair point. But let's actually look at the numbers, because the total cost of ownership tells a very, very different story.
That subscription price you see on the website, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's actually kind of crazy. Industry analyses show that anywhere from 50 to 70% of the total cost of a SaaS tool is hidden in things you don't see up front, like integrations, customizations, and paying your team for all the workarounds.
So let's just project this out 5 years. Yeah, the SaaS model looks cheap to start, but then the costs just explode. Those per-user license fees are brutal. They're literally designed to punish you for growing. You add in things like premium features and data migration fees, and the cost just spirals. Meanwhile, the custom build has a bigger upfront number, sure, but it completely erases all those punishing scaling costs. You own it. It's your asset.
And when you put it on a simple bar chart like this, the picture is just crystal clear. Over 5 years, that cheap subscription becomes a massive, reoccurring cost, while the custom build turns into a far more cost-effective, valuable asset for your company.
Okay, so the money makes sense, but what about the tech side? Let's put on our CTO hat for a minute. This is about control, it's about security, and it's about making sure your business is future-proof.
The smartest companies out there are using this brilliant architecture called the AI tech sandwich. Here's the idea. They don't try to build their own giant AI models from scratch. That's the bread, and it's a commodity you can buy from anyone. Instead, they focus all of their brainpower on building their own proprietary filling.
And that filling, that's where the real magic happens. This is your secret weapon. We're talking about things like RAG, which connects the AI to your company's private data. We're talking about building AI agents that execute your workflows exactly your way. It's creating prompt libraries to control your brand's voice and building a flexible platform so you can easily swap out AI models later. you're never locked in. All right, so the tech is solid, but what does this actually do for the business? Let's talk about the teams that are actually bringing in the money: sales and marketing. For them, this changes everything.
You know how it is right now. It's total chaos. Marketing is over here in HubSpot, sales is stuck in Salesforce, and support is using Zendesk. Your customer data is fragmented, their journey is broken, and honestly, everyone is just flying blind.
But a custom AI solution, it just demolishes those silos. It creates one unified place for revenue intelligence. It can literally see the customer's entire journey from the very first ad they clicked to their most recent support call. And that lets you do true hyper-personalization, a perfectly orchestrated experience.
So, you see, it all boils down to one single strategic choice. It's really about deciding what kind of company you're trying to build.
Remember that 5%? The companies that are actually winning with AI? They get this. They completely understand the difference between a utility and a strategic advantage. They buy the commodity stuff, but they fiercely protect and build the technology that makes them unique. They don't rent their competitive advantage, they own it.
Look, if you remember one thing from our time together, let it be this. Stop twisting your business into a pretzel to fit the limitations of some generic software. Instead, build software that is tailor-made to amplify what your business already does best.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about for your own company. Is your AI strategy actually building a deep, durable, competitive moat that will protect you for years? Or are you just spending a ton of money to rent the same basic tools that every single one of your competitors is also renting? The choice is yours.